Let's dive into one of history's greatest and, honestly, most chilling mysteries. We're talking about a civilization that reached incredible heights. I mean, they were brilliant, only to just vanish. They left behind these silent, empty cities, and a puzzle that has kept scientists guessing for centuries.
Just think about that for a second. Millions! It wasn't a slow fizzle, it wasn't an obvious conquest. This was a massive society that, for all intents and purposes, just evaporated. And this is a real thing that happened, something we're still trying to wrap our heads around.
So that's the big question, right? What in the world could make a civilization that was so advanced, so powerful, with so many people, just abandon everything and walk off into the jungle? Well, let's start digging for clues.
Okay, before we get to their mysterious end, we have to talk about who they were at their peak. Because to really feel the scale of what was lost, you have to appreciate just how unbelievably brilliant the Maya were. These weren't just some simple culture. No, they were architects of a world that was way ahead of its time.
Get this. We're talking about a civilization that came up with complex writing, mathematics, and astronomy all on their own, completely independently. For over 1,000 years, they were an absolute powerhouse of culture and intellect in the Americas. And all these things were connected. Their knowledge of the stars was so good, they created one of the most accurate calendars in the ancient world. Then they used that math and that incredible building skill to perfectly align their massive stone pyramids with the stars. This wasn't just construction, it was like building the heavens right here on Earth.
10 million people. Just let that number sink in. At its height, the Maya population was absolutely staggering, spread all across this huge network of powerful city-states. This wasn't some small group of tribes, it was a sprawling civilization, and in some spots, it was as densely populated as parts of our world are today.
Yeah, so forget any ideas about little jungle huts. The Maya built massive urban centers, places like Tikal, with towering pyramids, huge public plazas, sprawling palaces. These were incredibly sophisticated centers for trade, religion, and politics, on par with the great cities in Europe and Asia at the time.
And then, right at the absolute peak of all this power and glory, something started to go terribly, terribly wrong. The engine of this amazing civilization just stalled, and a very sudden, very eerie silence fell over their great cities.
Now, the collapse wasn't literally overnight, but in historical terms, it was shockingly fast. It all started around 750 CE, when they were at their strongest. By 800, you can see that major construction starts to slow down. By 900, whole cities are being left empty. And by 925, silence. The stone carving stops. The palaces are empty. It's the complete absence of life that is so deafening.
And this is the part that just haunts researchers. In so many of these cities, there are no signs of a big final battle, no evidence of a massacre. It's almost as if everyone just packed a bag and left, leaving their beautiful temples to be swallowed by the jungle.
So, if it wasn't one big, obvious catastrophe, then what was it? For decades, scientists have been sifting through the dirt, studying the bones, and scanning the ruins, trying to solve this incredible historical cold case.
Just think about that for a second. What would it take for our own huge cities, New York, London, Tokyo, to be completely abandoned in just a few generations? It's a scary thought, and the answer is probably not a simple one.
All right, so let's look at the main suspects. First up, drought. We have climate data that shows a series of really, really bad droughts hit the area right when the collapse was happening. That's a strong theory, but here's the problem. Why didn't people come back when the rains did? Okay, number 2, warfare. We know the Maya city-states fought each other, but it seems to have been more ritualized, not the kind of total war that would wipe out an entire civilization. And last, disease. A pandemic could totally rip through those crowded cities, but finding direct archaeological proof of one is really, really hard.
And that's the whole issue. Each of these theories, all by itself, has a major hole in it. A drought might destroy one city, but a whole civilization? War might bring down a king, but people usually rebuild. A plague might kill a lot of people, but there are usually survivors. No single one of these things explains the sheer scale of the abandonment. It almost makes you think that looking for just one answer is the wrong way to go about it.
This isn't just some random mystery from the ancient past. The story of the Maya collapse has become a kind of cautionary tale. It's a case study in how even the most advanced societies can be incredibly fragile. And it kind of forces us to take a hard look in the mirror.
So, the answer that most experts are leaning towards now isn't one thing, but everything, all at once. It was a perfect storm. Imagine a society already stretched thin by overpopulation and constant fighting. Now throw in a massive, decades-long drought that leads to famine. The whole political system, which was based on god-kings who promised to keep things stable, would just crumble. People would lose faith, and the very fabric of society would tear apart.
And that, of course, leads us to the final, really unsettling question. The Maya faced climate change, political instability, and not enough resources to go around. Does any of that sound familiar? Their story is a powerful, powerful reminder that no civilization, not even ours, is guaranteed to last forever.
And that's the mystery that sticks with you. Now, of course, the Maya people themselves didn't vanish off the face of the earth. Their descendants are alive and well today, carrying on their amazing culture. But their great civilization, the world of the stargazers and pyramid builders, that did disappear. It just faded into the jungle, leaving behind this warning that still echoes today.